Hi, you guys. Ginger Cook here with another fantastic afternoon and evening of acrylic painting. This is going to be fun. This is sort of a surprise show. We usually don't go on Fridays. I tell you a little secret. Um, this show won't be up for long. We probably will, this show will be up for about 3 weeks, this particular
No, not
one.
even that long.
Not even that long.
No.
So you want to catch it now. And I'm telling you that because we leave our Monday shows up, but we decided that don't have a lot of people on Friday. So it's going to be, we're going to show you how to paint this cool chicken. It's a really neat painting. Someone's going to get a chance to own the painting if you're part of our auction, and which we've got gingercookauction.com going on. This is sort of a special show. Wanted to do something different. We haven't had a lot of chickens in our on YouTube. We think I did one a couple years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, on how to do one with a palette knife, which is still up and available. But this is kind of different. I think you're going to be surprised. I'm going to take a moment to show you some of the cool things that we've got going on in our auction that you may not know about, and we're going to answer questions. Some stuff came up even this week that I want to clarify from our Facebook group. People were chatting about different things and gels and mediums and all that stuff. So we're going to answer some of those questions. Lots of tips going on. We're going to have a fun time. Those of you that are hanging out with us at our sort of special Friday show, we thank you very much. We want to appreciate our moderators who also showed up for us. Lynn up in Canada. We've got, who else?
Mona.
We have Mona in Sweden. Wow, thanks, Mona. It's still late at night for Mona, but she's hanging in there with us. And then we've got, who else, John?
That's all that's registered so far that I've seen.
Well, if you...
Usually Judy will show up, and Judy,
we'll probably have a few
Luann,
others, you know.
the rest of them
Again,
will pop in.
this is sort of not the norm.
We kind of we're half an hour earlier from our normal time, so we kind of
Yeah.
threw everybody for a loop.
Well, we wanted to do a little bit early, give people a chance to see us. If John wants to come on down to our...
Oh, wait, first, we have up there, I dream of a better world where chickens can cross the road without having their motives questioned. I love that. That's my kind of chicken.
Yeah. Well, do you know why the chicken crossed the road?
We don't
John?
want to know anymore. We don't need
Yes,
to.
you do. I'm going to tell you. You know what? This is the Texas. You know why the Texas chicken crossed the road?
No, I don't. Why did the Texas chicken cross the road?
To show the armadillo it could be done.
I knew it. Oh, we're missing one light. Your front light's
the
not on.
Top one up there.
Echo, turn on the frontal light.
Looks like you're trying to use something from another household account. Should I control the frontal light for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. Wow. It's like sunshine. Wow.
You're supposed to say these things when you sit down. Didn't it look different to you?
Yeah.
Are you paying attention at all?
So, yeah, no, I'm not paying attention. And we're painting today on one of these Pro Canvas Tone. This is not cardboard. This is actual masonite that's been specially treated, these Pro Tone canvases. And we have an underpainting of burnt sienna and white on it.
No.
No? What did you...
Burnt umber and white, 50-50.
Burnt umber and white. I lied. Okay, sorry. We start off the bat with untruths. You know? I remember, years ago when I was in high school, there was this kid. I went to Judson in Arizona, and there was this little private school, and there was this one kid, and the teacher would ask a question. If he answered it, it was wrong, he'd say, "Yes, I know, I lied." Or sometimes he would say, "I give up. What is it?" And he was always being sent out of the room.
Class clown?
Yeah, he was always being sent out of the room. No one found it as hilarious as the rest of us did, because he was so brave, He was always getting kicked out of class, but it was great fun. So I'm going to go ahead. We've got this. It's all painted here, nice and hard. I've got a Posca pen here. This is one of the darker brown ones. It's whiter. And I'm going to go ahead and just put these lines on. I kind of divide. I didn't do this completely
Even.
And the reason I didn't is because I didn't want it to be that even.
Are you trying to justify that you don't know how to use a ruler? Is that what we're doing?
Wow, just right to the heart. Stab.
Let's just get the show rolling here, shall we? Come on.
Sab. Oh my gosh. Well,
For all of you that don't know what we got going on, we have our auction coming up. Well, starting, well, matter of fact, they should have gone live right now at gingercookauction.com. And you may want to check that out. We have 60 pieces up for sale today. And this will be the 61st one.
now what I'm doing here is hoping I had a square board. These here, the T-square allows you to have straight lines. Hard to believe that I didn't get one after all that, right? But what I don't want is just a perfectly
Straight line.
straight. Well, I want a straight line, but I want them kind of. These are boards, so in case you didn't understand, you thought maybe I was making a jail cell or something. Put the kid
So put the chicken in
in
jail.
a cage or something, right? And no Posca pens were harmed doing this video. Okay.
Unlike the last one we did.
Yeah, we just kind of slaughtered it. Okay, so all right. So the thing about Posca pens that's sort of interesting is that
They're acrylic paint.
they're acrylic paint and they don't dry instantly, which is why they last a long time, is because they're not drying out on your tip. So one of the things you need to do with something like this is probably dry it. I'm going to just take a minute and show you the paint we're using. We're using regular, all the paintings in our auction were painted with heavy body golden, Matisse, or Holbein paints. A couple of maybe Liquitex heavy body, but they're all, and this is a collection of some of them. Titanium white and zinc white. Now let's talk about that. There's oftentimes in paint set, you'll see something called white. White paint is not the same as titanium white. It's more translucent. It's not as translucent as zinc white, but it won't
Not as
give you the
opaque.
coverage as
Yeah.
titanium. You don't have titanium in the white.
You don't have titanium white.
You don't have titanium
It's
white.
not. It's really more. That's a lot more opaque.
Yeah, so, even if you're still using other brands of paint, maybe student grade or whatever, the first thing you need to invest in, and it's pretty cheap, is a big tube of titanium white. Make sure you have that. And then we're going to talk about, this is yellow oxide or ochre. This is cad yellow medium. This is cadmium orange, which is a very light, bright orange from Golden. This is magenta, quadrichrome magenta. This is cad red light. This is cad red medium, phthalo green, dazzling purple, phthalo blue, and ultramarine blue. Now, if you're trying to remember the difference between phthalo blue and ultramarine blue, when you mix yellow with phthalo blue, you get tropical bright greens. Bright, bright, bright greens. And think about Hawaii, Fiji, those kind of bright greens. Irish Spring, soap green, that bright green. But if you mix ultramarine blue with yellow, you get more of the olive color. You will never be able to get a tropical green using ultramarine blue. Believe it or not, though, if you only could afford one blue, I would always own phthalo because I can dump enough red into phthalo blue to get an olive green, but I can never get a bright spring green out of ultramarine blue. Just a piece of trivia, see? While we're waiting for the stuff to dry.
Now, up on top over there, on top of your rack,
Oh, yeah,
you see a little 6x8,
I do.
and it has some yellow on it.
Yeah,
Pop that out there.
yeah.
Now turn it over because it's upside down. No. Yeah, there you go.
There, I turned it over. Isn't that what he said?
Okay, smarty, flip it over. Now turn it around. The letters are at the bottom. Okay.
Oh, well, who
Somebody
would
wrote to
know?
me, we had a question come in,
Yeah.
and they go, I am using Golden's yellow orchid,
Ochre,
whatever.
ochre, cur, like cur,
Gur,
like a cur dog, ochre.
ochre. And it's greener than what Ginger uses. What's she using? I go, well, we use Holbein. And I go, well, that's a good question. What is the difference? So I searched our studio. We do not have any Golden yellow orchid.
Ochre?
No.
Ochre?
So that's Matisse.
Oscar, ochre?
Yeah. That's Matisse, Holbein, and Salvador. And the Salvador is very close to the Golden. That's why she can't get the colors you're getting. So even though you think you have the same colors that we're using, if they're not the same brand, the colors may be different.
That's a good thing.
So that's something to know. I didn't realize there's that much difference in the golden, but
Hey, you want to do something else? Listen, want to do something else?
what, on my practice board there?
Yeah, let's just show you, let's just on your practice board, since you've already done it, right? Let's show you, here's some titanium white, and let's go across all of these, right? Like that, right?
Let's zoom in a little bit, shall we?
Let's just go across that. No water on the brush, right? Now,
That's pretty opaque.
well, it's pretty opaque, isn't it? You can't really see through it. Opaque meaning like,
I believe that, isn't that what opaque means? I'm going out on a limb on this one.
yeah, you know, didn't you ever say that? Did you ever have a sibling say when you were a kid, you're a better door than a window, even though you are a pane?
Yeah, I had that one.
Yeah, that one? Yeah. Well, you know, it's like a door. Now, here's the zinc white.
Whoa, I can see through that.
Yeah, see?
Even
That's the zinc
applied
white.
thickly, you can see through that.
Yeah, see, that's the zinc white.
Do you have a
And I do, and I have something called, now Holbein makes a, and somebody sent this to me, I've never used it. Well, this will be fun, we'll have a good time.
Nobody sent it to you. I got it.
Oh, it's called their primary white.
Primary white.
No idea what that is. So
It's just white. It's not
white.
titanium.
It doesn't
Just
have,
white.
I put a little of that there. Here's just white, okay? There's their primary white. And it's not quite, well, it's close, isn't it?
Yeah, it's also Holbein.
That's
It's close.
Holbein.
It's very close to titanium.
It's pretty close to titanium.
Yeah.
It
Do you
is,
have a
isn't it?
Salvador white there handy?
I think you took all the Salvador paints away.
Oh, boo hiss. Because you had one more stripe you could have done.
I could, yeah.
Yeah. Guess
I
who?
could've.
I want to get out and get that. We would. Because I'm thinking theirs is like a typical
This
white.
is fun. This is hey, look at this one. As long as we're doing stuff. This is pearl white from Holbein.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Let's grab some of that. That's pretty.
Well, they classify theirs as titanium white. We don't have that.
All right, so there's pearl white.
See, that's very translucent.
Yeah, pearl white is, but it's not as translucent as zinc, right? When it dries. Okay. Just in case you're wondering what these whites are, and if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, just remember oil painters have like 10 whites or something.
Yeah, we don't get that
And then,
many.
you know, so then here's the Salvador,
Which they do call titanium.
what they do call titanium.
Which I didn't realize that.
All right, let's just see here.
Well, that's better than the pearl. Not quite as good as the primary, but better than the zinc. See, that's a
Yeah,
lot better than it used to be when we first got them.
Yeah, it's better,
Not
but it's
quite
probably
full.
it's not quite as opaque as the titanium. When this all dries, the titanium.
It goes titanium, and then the primary, and then the Salvador, and then the pearl, and then the
Yeah.
zinc.
You can kind of see.
Oh, it's kind of cool.
It just sometimes you know, do an
There's your discussion
experiment
on
with your own
white.
stuff. See what you got. Maybe you have a brand that none of us have ever heard of. We have no idea, right?
We
So
don't have
do
all
your
the
own
brands.
experiments. All right. So this is all dry now that we have had our chemistry lesson for the day, right? Yes and yes.
We always up to something, aren't we?
Yeah. So I've got
Well,
a big.
inquiring minds want to know.
I want to take a kind of a large brush here. This is a 3/4 inch silk brush, and that's good enough. I could
That's a
use
very
this one.
soft
That's
brush.
very soft brush. I
It's
don't
a
want
very,
that
very
one.
soft brush.
I want not that wide, but I want it in the Bristol on.
Yes.
And I'm going to take some white here and some phthalo blue. Now I want to gray that, so I'm going to take a little bit of orange and put in there, just a tiny bit of orange, sneak into the corner. You see that? And then I want more white. So I've got this sort of gray blue, and I think about why I was able to. Why did that work?
Because you
How
know
do
your
you
color
know?
wheel.
Like, dude, like, how do you know? Wow, just so cool. How does she know that? Well, because orange and blue or turquoise blue are opposite each other on the color wheel. And when you mix two opposites of each other on the color wheel, you get some sort of gray color. So if you want to tone down a bright color, like say a bright purple, gosh, what's opposite? Don't know. Just think about it. It's what? It's yellow. and you would put a
Yellow.
tiny bit of yellow in it, and it would work. So that's how we know. All right, so we're gonna come on up here like this, and
The color wheel is your friend.
I want to just I want to leave some of this board here showing through, and just thick and thin here like that. And then if I really wanted to be adventuresome, I might take a paper towel and wipe all the paint off my brush and do this. See, and then I can have this be kind of just a difference between dry brushing and, see, I want this old board look. See, yes and yes. Ooh,
Cool.
yeah, that's cool, right?
That's cool. That's cool, dude.
So, yeah, cool, dude. So we want to come up here close to our, so you have the sort of uneven edge. Let's do this. And then we do something down here at the bottom. Okay. Don't need it too fancy, but it doesn't hurt to use the edge like that. You've got this thick and thin lines. Think about that. I remember when one of the first art classes I ever took on drawing, the guy was just explicit about thick and thin lines. So I'm gonna just turn it this way so I can kind of see
That's
it.
kind of just pet peeve.
Yeah, it's thick and thin lines. So even if you were drawing something, you don't want all the lines so thick.
Well,
See?
again, that's his contrast.
Yeah,
It's all about contrast.
thick and thin lines. Now the other way I can do is I can take one of these nifty brushes that we bought. Where did I put those? Where did I put those? Funny, I could have sworn I put them in there, but then I didn't put them in there. And you're going, what is she talking about? She's just rattling on about nifty brushes, and nobody
that's what
has
I'm
a
thinking,
clue.
too.
Where are the ones with for the fur brushes? Well, here's some. Here's a furry brush. Now, see, I'm kind of out of paint now. You got to actually have paint for this to work. Guess what, friends? Just a heads up. Okay, so a little bit of that orange color to make it kind of gray. Kind of gray that, right? And just tap it off and look. So look, I want this to be, I think a little lighter than I want here. Let's put a little more orange in it and gray it up. And a little bit of blue. Here's my gray color. More blue. Thank you. Okay, so let's come back here and get my color better. So you've got different ways to get this sort of wood effect. You could use a kind of one of the fur brushes. Okay. Or I really want some more blue in that. There we go. And just do this. So you're showing the old wood, but you're not. So let's try this again.
You're showing the old wood, but you're not. You know, that's really heavy.
I know, it's just like,
I feel like that's just so, you're showing the old wood, but you're not. I'm just gonna have to. I'm gonna have to meditate on that one. I'm just not sure where I'm gonna go with that. What?
keep up.
I'm doing the best I can. You're coming up with these brilliant sayings. I'm just speechless.
I mean, well, you started it with these chicken contemplations at the
Well,
beginning.
I think it's about time that people let the chickens just cross the road and don't question them.
Well,
I never questioned my chickens. They were
no,
good
you
girls.
just ate them.
Well, after they've done their duties, yeah.
You ate them. Just-
I'm not going to waste a good
So-
chicken.
Some of us don't eat our pets. You're just saying, right? But, just
Well, the key is not to name them. Chicken 1, chicken 2. That works, you know?
uh,
You don't name your pets, your chicken. You don't name your food.
oh, is that the trick?
That's the
Is that the
trick.
trick?
Yep.
Huh. I never thought of that, John. Just you don't name them.
You don't name your food.
We had some pigs one time back when Cinnamon was in high school that a friend had given George, and we named them Cagney and Lacey. And then George and I had to come to Texas, and he had some friends that had guess they'd given the pigs, and I guess part of the thing was we'd feed them, and then when the pigs got big enough, they would somehow magically appear in our freezer. It wasn't quite so magical as sort of the slaughter of the barnyard where they killed our pigs. The things that never got over it. We weren't there, or trust me, it never would have happened. They would have just taken them somewhere else or whatever that happened. I understand that that's where your food comes from and people have to do that, but boy, that was a thing. But, just if you grew up in a family where nobody hunted or did any of that, you never ate, and certainly, and we had, I think she had already named them. I don't know. But she was very, well, both of us were kind of, but I understood. I mean, I did understand at some point they were going to end up in the freezer, but, sometimes you just don't think these things out well, right? Okay, so you can kind of see where I've got, some old boards. Now, I want some of them to be less old than others. What's that?
I'm loving it. Hey, we'd like to thank Barbara for the donation that came in through the PayPal system. Thank you, Miss
wow.
Barbara.
Barbara, thank you so much. That is awesome. That is really nice. We appreciate it very much. So I've got a little zinc white here in burnt umber. I'm going to come up here and use this brush up here to kind of layer this. You see what I'm doing? And I can do this after too, but I want to say that there's something up here maybe that's gonna again you've got all kinds of options on when you're doing an old fence like this. Let's make something a little darker.
I remember Patricia said earlier that her Salvador paint set came in that she got from winning that 1 week.
Oh, isn't that great? I love that, don't you?
Thank you, Patricia, for letting us know.
Thank you
I think
very
you're gonna
much for letting us
enjoy 'em.
know that. Yeah, and of course Monday we'll be doing another live show Monday, and bound to have some good stuff happen there. So now here's a little tip: don't use a Salvador pen on wet paint. So
Don't use a Salvador pen on wet paint.
make sure your painting is dry.
Okay, does
But you'll
Salvador make a pen?
Oh, they don't make the pen, it's the Posca pen. Well, no, you wouldn't want to do that. If they made a pen, you wouldn't want to do it. You basically don't want to use anybody's pen on wet paint. How's that?
Okay.
All right.
Just trying to, I didn't know if you knew something I didn't know.
I don't know. I'm feeling like the word police has shown up today.
I had a tremendous amount of sleep last night, apparently.
Were you sleep deprivation? Were you
I better
watching?
check my.
Were
my
you watching
sleep.
Jeopardy? What? You just couldn't answer those questions, so you?
So I thought I'd pick on you. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Well, just
Oh, yeah, look at that, all green again. How does that happen?
what happened to who?
My little sleep monitor.
Oh, John has a sleep monitor. Mine lies. It says I didn't get any sleep at all. What does it know? Nothing. All right. So why, I want to just talk about paintings like this because this has got to dry for a second. So I'm going to take a moment and show you. I told you we have this auction coming up. It's a little different
It's
than our
not coming
marathon.
up, it's on now.
It's on right now, and it goes from when to when.
It's going through the 28th. From now to the 28th.
And one of my paintings that you guys may not know, we started off last year doing these photo challenges for people, and then every once in a while I would do one. This is the one I did with the with the tub that we actually from a photo John took when we were in Japan. That's one of our 8x10 that's up for auction. And
And we'll be doing those challenges again.
yeah, and I wanted to just show you this. This is one of our very successful YouTube videos. It was a Van Gogh. He had this cute old striped wallpaper and these kind of herb things. There's no flowers or anything on them.
I believe they're called chives.
Yeah, well, there's these disgusting onion things people eat, but I didn't want to go there. But now you've taken us down the dark path, right?
What is with you and onions? I don't get that. They're marvelous little flavor little enhancers.
Apparently, you think so. Okay.
Yeah.
And
All right.
I love this one, and I want you to know when you go to our website, you really have to see the titles. There's some very fun titles in some of our paintings, right? I don't want to ruin the surprise, but not every painting, but I've got some really imaginative titles for some of these. And do you remember what this one was? I think this was Tribal Successful Rain Dance.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. That's the name of this one. I really like that one. And
That's funny.
yeah, and let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Of course, none of these are in order of vertical or horizontal, are they?
No.
Just stuck them in any old place. Do you guys kind of remember? This is one of my favorites. We never did a tutorial on this one for the Academy.
That goes back to Mark's
It goes
day.
back a ways, and it's
Like 6
entitled
years.
Freddie's
Freddy's.
Last Goldfish.
Yeah.
The title of that. So if you know, just saying.
Yeah, poor Freddie.
And somebody, believe it or not, asked us today if I did a painting one time, and I think we auctioned it off, where I added the people in here. Monet originally had his wife and daughter. He was trying to show like a motion picture. Like he had them up here, and then he had them here, and then he had them coming down here. Like somehow you would think they were walking down the hill, but you know, it happens when you drink. You know, but anyway, I left the people out, and this is one of our more successful tutorials, a beginner tutorial on all the different greens. And you know,
you learn how to make greens because we don't buy greens.
You know, mostly we don't. Of course, in this video we bought some, but normally we don't, and we show you how to make them. That's a neat. That's one of the reasons you might want to own an original painting, is because you can really see up close all the colors that are on it, and that's really that could be quite things. And then this one I think I showed you before, but I love the all the flowers in this. How to do these flower pots and not have ice cream cones. You know what I mean? Most people, when they do a pot of flowers, they have like they're buying ice cream cones, a little plop of it, and we'll show you how to not to do that. That's a YouTube video. If you watch that video, it's a great video. But this is a really great picture to own. So just a few of these. She'll show you a few more in a little bit. I'm not going to show you every one we have, but we're going to show a few as we go. Yeah. And in the meantime, let's put the chicken on the.
Put the chicken roost.
Okay, so all right, let me just take the
Before you get too carried away there, could you move that other auction piece off? Thank
oh
you
sure,
very
let me
much.
do that. So this is bigger than this is not 8x10.
No, that's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I figure you're going to cut your chicken out anyways, like you normally do when you do these. I'm sorry, I was thinking ahead.
Oh well, there you go. It's a magical word, the thinking thing.
Yeah. Hey, Sandra, thank you very much for the donation that came in through PayPal.
Thank you very much, Sandra. I hope you're having fun with this. We have fun here today. We're gonna have fun. All right, so somewhere here we want our birdie. So he's got to be kind of like this, right? Kind of like.
Watch
yeah,
how close you're getting to the top there, Missy.
Oh yeah, don't want him too close to the top. Let's cut some of this off so I can see where he is.
Cut a little bit off the bottom and the top there. Narrow it down.
Let's just find out what we're doing here.
Do you know the name of the video, the flower pots?
No, Judy on. She always knows these things.
Judy knows everything.
There.
Judy or Steffi will hunt it down for us, please. Thank you.
Because that's really a tremendously good video, and it's wonderful. Not
That's
that
what
all our
tremendously
videos
good
aren't
means.
tremendously good, because of course they are. How else could they be anything but, right?
Some are gooder than others.
No, I don't think they're all just great, man. Just genius happens in this room. Everybody knows that, right? That's kind of a
Absolutely.
given, right? So here, you go back over here. All right, so now I need some transfer paper, which, look at that, I got some. So here we go. So we'll sheet of transfer paper, and let's get a piece of tape out. This is artist tape. This is another thing that comes up. You know, people always say, what should I buy myself? I need everything and art supplies, and there's never enough art supplies. And we're going to start a new Facebook club called Art Hoarders Are Us someday, just to let everybody join, show what they've got. But in the meantime, the thing about artist tape is that it doesn't pull your paint up. And so it's you just want some. You don't.
It's
I
not a
don't know
question
how else
of
to
want.
tell
You
you.
need.
You need it.
some.
You need some. You don't. You need. It's just one of those things where you really just have to have it. You can find it on our Amazon gingercooklive.gallery/Amazon has it there. Probably all the other pink stores have it.
Got to go up a little bit higher there, Queenie.
What's
Got
that?
to get the comb.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we got it. If I get most of this, I'm probably okay. Now we're going to test it to see if it actually works.
And if you have that in the right
It
way. Well, look
does.
at you did.
It does, but you always should do a test.
Always.
And then we're gonna got this. It's very easy to transfer on a hard surface. You'd be amazed at how easy it is.
Well, I don't think I would be. I think it's kind of
But
logical.
when it's on a soft canvas, sometimes what happens when you buy canvas is that it's had a journey to get to your house, and sometimes it starts to get a little saggy, and that's one of the reasons we tell you to spray the back of canvas and maybe hit it with a hairdryer and kind of tighten your canvas up again. That's important. One of the
Pots of flowers.
pots of flowers. Okay.
And Judy says that's one of my least imaginative names. I don't know if I came up with that one. Probably
Well,
did.
Cinnamon used to tell me, quite frankly, she said, "Mother, you should never be allowed to name any paintings." She says, but I've gotten better. You should see the new names I've come up with. I just didn't understand, but now I've got some great names.
Yeah.
I love Freddie's Last Goldfish. I think that's just great.
You gotta love Freddie's Last Goldfish.
Don't you? You gotta love it.
I do.
I do. Too. I love Freddie's Last Goldfish. I think he's great fun.
Appreciate you all taking time out of your Friday to come by and visit us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and some of you, I put something in our Facebook club. Look at that. It's called this kind of a super secret for our red, blue, and purple members in our academy. On the new website, I had suggested today to John, I said, it would be nice for people that want to, because we're doing a lot bigger paintings, and to make it easier, we're just tracing them on. And John apparently, and I, there's some
Unbeknownst to me.
Unbeknownst to me, apparently John had put on all our new tutorials that are moved over to the new website, the acrylic painting with gingercook.com. He had put a special section under resources where if you have like a big, say 18 by 18 or 24 by 36 or big canvas, and you only have a printer that does 8.5 by 11 sheets, he gives you all the sheets you need to print that out. You just print them out sheet by sheet, so you don't need anything special, and then you kind of cut and paste and put them together, and then you can trace on. And I didn't know he'd done that, and then he tried to say, well, it's on the website. And man, I went and looked and had no idea what he was talking about. Even when I saw it, I had no idea what he was talking about. I figured, I don't know, then you don't know. So watch that video that's on
It's on the Tech Fair,
it's on the Tech Fair, but I also put the link
in the Facebook
and the
club.
thing, because it's a courtesy, so you don't have to do a raspberry or anything unless you're doing it bigger than what I'm doing, and then you probably want to use those techniques.
Yeah, we'll go into more of that once we get a little bit more done.
All right, so there's our,
That's a good looking rooster there.
well, him kind of cute, isn't he?
He
Don't
is.
don't you guys think so? There, see, now look how easy. And the neat thing about this Sorel transfer papers, you can use it over and over again. But let's just suppose you didn't have any of this stuff. You live in Timbuktu or something and they don't have this. What could you use? Well, you can print out the picture and then rub chalk on the back that's a contrasting color and then kind of smear it with maybe a piece of cotton and then do it 2 or 3 times and blow off the excess. It's kind of messy, but basically that makes a terrific surface to, to be able to transfer images. Chalk works. So another tip for the day for those of you who are hanging in with us.
Just full of tips today.
Yeah. So now we've got the we've got our rooster here. And how fun is that? Yes. So we're gonna take a little brush and take some red paint, maybe a little cad red, and let's put the comb on. As we chat, we'll chat and do stuff. Any questions, John?
Jenny makes a good comment. Make sure your printer's not set to double-sided printing because it won't work. They definitely have to be printed on single-sided papers.
Oh, okay. All
I'm glad
right.
you're all enjoying the new website. Charlie and I are working diligently. Hopefully, we're going to be done by the end of summer, which is September 22nd. That's what I told the young lad. And we'll
Now,
see.
this is interesting. This brush I'm using is a Bristol-on 00 silver brush, and it is marvelous. I can't say enough nice things about it.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to get another one of those.
And I'm going to put a little white with this, and just my brush is already dirty, so I've got a little
It's going to be a pink.
kind of a light pink
It's got
around
pink
the
eye.
eye.
It's
you
going.
got-
We have a sick chicken.
Light pink around the eye here. Okay. And let's take a little bit of the cad red. We'll give it another coat of cad red, but this is pretty good for now.
That's just warm-ups.
Let's just warm up, right? So now, let's just kind of rinse that brush, and not to put pointed brushes and leave them in the water, right? Because they bend. Everybody knows that, right?
Oh, everybody knows that.
All right, just
But
well,
also, when
for
you're
that
done
one
for
person
whoa,
that
whoa, let's back up there, Queenie.
yep.
When one is done for the day, though, they need to put them over with the bucket, because as one's washing them, one didn't see that brush there. One had to go find it.
Oh my gosh, who was the one? Are we thinking?
That'd be Chester. I put Chester in charge of that, and he was not happy.
Okay, all right, fine. Boy, everybody's a critic, man. Just everybody's a critic, right? All right, so I want some bright colors on my rooster. That's a chicken, though. And I asked John, I said, how do you know the difference between a rooster and a chicken? Because I didn't know. I mean, having never had chickens and ate them. Well, I eat chickens. I just didn't hunt them down and feed them. And
Hunt them down. We went out with our big old shotguns, hunting these wild chickens.
Oh my goodness! Just didn't know about that, right? So anywho, don't you love this? Is phthalo green, and phthalo green is a very translucent color,
If we can see.
and which is neat for something like this. Here's a little zinc white, and we're gonna just indicate. See, like that. See how it can kind of indicate some feathers like that. Kind of want to do it while it's wet. Kind of neat. It's a neat color. Okay, and then we're gonna go another one. Okay, leaving a little space because need to do that. I'll take a little titanium white this time. See, this one's going to be a little lighter.
Okay, we'd like to thank Sharon for the donation that came in through the PayPal system. Thank you, Miss Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you very much. It's so nice. We appreciate that very much.
I see some of you have been active on the auction site, getting your bids in early. Good idea.
Remember, you need to, if you want to be part of our auction, gingercookauction.com, one of the things you're gonna need is
Got to register.
you've got to register.
John, the name of the rooster is Chester. That can't be Chester. We already have a Chester.
And but anyway, so how you tell the difference between male and female chickens, for those of you who didn't know either, I didn't know till 10 minutes ago when I thought to, inquiring minds want to know, yes, John?
Absolutely.
When I thought to ask, right? So how do you know the difference? He says how they sound. The chickens only cluck and roosters occasionally crow, but they don't crow all the time. And they can cluck also, can't they?
They make little noises.
They can make little noises. It's not quite the same, so, if you're not totally tuned into that, you just might not know, which is interesting in itself, isn't it? How do you know? So, now I'm going to take it's a little purple and green, and make a dark color come up here like that with a little purple.
Ooh, pretty.
And
pretty feathers.
And we're going to do a little dark between them. And there you go. So we've got some kind of, and we will probably lighten this up a bit more, but that's a start. Yes. So what I've rinsed the brush, and with anything you kind of find the color underneath the color underneath the color. So if you're looking at something like this, obviously this is on top of that, and this is underneath that. Yes. So this blue stuff is underneath that part of the feathers. These are underneath those. This part of the wing is on top of all this, and this blue is underneath the
and kind of on top of that.
So so you kind of want to
layer it in there.
Everything's kind of layered in there. So I want, I think I want.
Strange question from a vegetarian. Do you eat roosters? Yeah.
Sure.
Their meat's usually a little bit tougher. Put them in the old crock pot though, make a nice soup out of them.
Well, just speak for yourself, John. We don't know who's eating what here, but speak for yourself.
I am. I'm just talking to myself.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Don't include there's no imperial we going on here. Just so you know. The we does not necessarily
No,
apply.
Who had a nice chicken pot pie last night, homemade?
Well, that was good too. Are we keeping some chickens I'm not aware of out back or something, or just? All right, so I'm going to take a little purple, put it down here. Let's put a little green with the purple. It'll darken it up to be almost black, but not quite. See, and do you see how you can see the board a little bit through it? Do you see how you start to see some of the board through here? Okay, so now we have a little bit of this color underneath here, underneath all these. This is a little angle brush. This is a 3/8 inch Bristol on angle brush, and I've gone to these because they're so much easier to use. I even like them better than the ruby satin silvers because they're a little stiffer. And these are I don't think they've always had these. This is something they introduced in the short handle, and they're very nice. Absolutely lovely. Okay, so we've got that there, and we've got probably something coming up here too. Let's get something up dark here. Now, as that dries, let's take a little bit of the white and phthalo blue and come up here use just the corner of this brush and add these little fun feathery feature. These are feature feathers, right?
Featured
It's a
feathers,
feature,
absolutely.
right? Add that. And then we'll come down here a little bit and suggest they might keep coming down, but they're not. We'll put a little bit more purple with them. Kind of go over a little bit so they're not so obvious. All right. There's our feature. Now while that's drying, I'm gonna show you some more stuff. I'll let that dry for a minute.
Looking good so far, boss.
So, what can I show you that's just so cool? Well, if you guys remember, this painting was part of our color mixing journal adventure when we first started out. So it's some boats in Europe. You got to look up the title for this. It's hilarious.
You rename. Oh, that's a great title.
That's a great title. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's
No,
a
I got to
great
see
title.
that title.
Now, where it was, for instance, when it's been an old dead guy like Monet, I always just say it's Monet. This was Monet's art studio. Isn't that cool? He had one, of course, in his house, but he had a little boat. He'd sit out there and draw. This is a my interpretation of his painting. So whenever it's a Monet or a Van Gogh or something, I make sure I tell you. And again, this is Monet's. We have never ever shown these or anything. This is a poppy field Monet did, and with the farmhouses, and you can see way back in the distance. There's such depth in this picture, and it was a very interesting way that these poppies, these fields of flowers, were put in. Very impressionistic painting. This is my original to the tutorial. I think it's way cool. And those of you, of course, remember Taz. We did this if you haven't seen this, a couple of weeks ago. This was our video. And I got to tell you, some people have done some great things with that. And also one of our paintings that's been very tutorials in our Wave and Water class that's been very popular is the girl with the boats. And when I was a kid, I had a little tiny boat I could sail in a pond. Did you have that? Did you get a little model boat, John? Did you ever get one?
I did not, no.
Oh, I had one. It was cool. I didn't have a dress like that one. I had one, but I had one. I'm not quite that old, but I had one. And then, of course, who can forget this fun Monet boat one? That's a YouTube tutorial also, by the way. But this is in our auction. So if you're excited about auction pieces,
those are them.
Them's kind of cool, right? And one of our tutorials that was most successful on YouTube was this lady in the garden, originally done by Frisk. The first time I ever painted this was about 25 years ago, and I had a giant one about 30 by 40 in my kitchen, and someone bought it. I really am sorry. It's kind of sorry I sold it. This is what I loved about her. Frisk, so you see how her dress becomes part of the flowers? This was so clever. And she's got this headband, and it when we put it on YouTube, and it's still there. It's Lady in the Garden. It was Cancer Awareness Month, and there's a really good story in our YouTube tutorial on a good friend of Cinnamon's that got cancer, and they were gym pals, and I like this because it kind of reminded me of maybe the wigs and hair pieces that people have gone through chemo do. I think it's sort of a tribute to women. I love this painting. This is in the auction. I think it's one someone will really treasure to own. By the way. So back to
Ginger.
Yes.
Ginger. Is that the same artist as the new Wave and Water painting you just did? I don't know which painting she's talking about.
Frisk, no. Frisk was different. Frisk was an American artist who hung out with Monet. I don't know if they were friends, but he tried to get as close to Monet as he could. He was a really big fan of Monet's, and he hung out over there. And the French the French Impressionists were leading the country, even though Van Gogh actually was Dutch, but they were leading the world in kind of innovative art in these Impressionists, and Mary Cassatt and the rest of them. You know, that was the dream: go to Paris and, you know, learn how to paint. You know, go and, you know, adventure. So okay, so I want some yellow right here. Yellow and white only paint well together. Have you noticed that? You've got to have white there. You've got to have some white in there. So I'm going to just come up here like this and put some white in here. Less yellow, more white, more titanium white. Okay. Because this has got to be orange, but I want it to be a little brighter. So in order for that to be successful, I need that to be brighter. And then I want phthalo green and white. Okay. I hear a little tiny bit of phthalo blue in that. And we've got this beautiful sort of iridescent blue then. And I want to put that right here.
That's just phthalo and white.
That's phthalo blue and white and phthalo green.
A touch of green.
And touch of green. And it's one of those colors where you really need the bright. The phthalo green is such a bright color that it's almost not real, but it is great in water paintings and when you're talking about doing water and stuff and tropical paintings, it's a great color. And I'm gonna just come up here and put some of these feathers in up here on our rooster. And a little bit, let's just take a little bit of this and just brush over some of this.
Donna would like to know, do you prefer painting on those panels, or do you think you use less paint with them?
That's a good question, Don. I do like paint. If you're doing anything with a lot of detail, it's really easy to do. For instance, if you go back and study some of the old dead guys, like Monet and Renoir and Picasso and all those people, right? You'll find that they painted on panels when they had a lot of detail. They painted on wood. They were exactly so. So
Isn't the Mona Lisa on a panel?
I don't sure. Bet somebody knows that, right?
I think it is. I think it's just on wood.
So I have purple and yellow. Kind of mix
gray.
that together and make a little gray and put a little blue with it.
A blue
A
gray.
little bit more white, a little bit of a blue gray.
A light blue gray now.
So let's do, I don't think we got enough mixture here. Put their little feeties in. And it just, you see how smooth this is? If this was on a canvas, this brush would be skipping a bit. I'm going to make the back leg a little darker. So, yeah, the panels, if you're doing anything with detail, the panels are nice. Now, the reason I don't like the cardboard ones, personally, the reason I don't like those is because they're not easy to paint on. These are very easy to paint on. The surface is lovely.
Would you be comfortable selling paints on panels? Paintings on panels?
On something like this, yeah, but not on, you know, sure. And they'd be pretty easy to frame too. You could get one like this would be, well, yeah, we're going to sell this one too. One like this, you can think about it, keep it into the 8x10 sizes and stuff. You can go to, say, Hobby Lobby and get
Get a ready-made paint.
You can get these ready-made frames for photographs, and because these are so thin, you can really get some neat frames pretty inexpensively that you couldn't normally get, and you just wouldn't put them behind glass. You just take the glass away. You just wouldn't have the glass.
How should I seal the wood before I paint on it? There's a GAC. Go to Golden's GAC series.
Yeah,
GAC.
yeah, and I think
It's one of the numbers you use it to seal it. I don't remember the numbers offhand.
one thing was that I found I painted a custom order on a panel one time in the I had to get some masonite just and you can't buy like a little piece of masonite. You've got to buy
You buy the sheet.
you buy a sheet. Now this has got canvas on the masonite. This has got actual canvas on the masonite. But at this other particular adventure sometime for me, I got the I did do that, and Home Depot didn't charge me to cut it all up in usable pieces. They cut the size I needed, which was sort of a weird size. It had to fit an old window frame, and I painted these hummingbirds on it, and
It'd be very easy to mount that way.
yeah,
That'd be pretty. We got a confirmation from moderator Mona that the Mona Lisa was painted on poplar wood panel.
yeah,
What it was. And it's small, like an 8x10. A lot smaller than one would think.
yeah. You can get the detail that way that you can't get any other way. So
Linen would be your best shot at if you want canvas.
yeah. Now we've got another layer of green. Put a little yellow with this now, and a little bit of white. Kind of green feathers, and these overlap here like this.
The canvas are called Pro Tones. You have to do a search for Pro Tones. You can't find them.
Here, let me
They're
just turn it
Jerry's
over here.
Pro Tones.
My creative mark, Jerry sells it.
Just type in Pro Tones and you'll find a whole stack of them. They were on sale. I don't know if they still are, but we scruffed up a lifetime supply. All the different sizes. We even did one all the way up to 16x20.
Yeah, we just got a bunch of them because we kind of thought they were neat. And they are, right? Let's put a little ultramarine blue with that. Got this
This
little
is
sort of
one good looking chicken
gray-green.
wall. Donna says, I would think that painting reflections would be successful on the panels.
Yeah,
Especially if you want to carry some detail into it. Absolutely.
doing a little of this while we. Now, I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Kim, who is head of the Chicken Society for the United States or something. Though she no longer has chickens, which I thought was interesting. They still let her be in charge.
She's a good chicken wrangler.
She knows a lot about chickens.
Yeah.
I did not take the time to inquisit with her. You like that? Inquisit with her. Yes, on chickens before I adventured this painting. Wow, this is some great stuff, right? Just never thought to, should have done that. Probably should have talked to her before I even picked one out. But I did this, but she knows a lot about chickens. Well, you do too, John. No, I mean, John isn't the president of any chicken society, but he's no chicken.
I never ranked that good.
He's no chicken slouch either. I'll tell
I'm
you
no
that,
chicken
right?
slouch.
He's no chicken slouch, man.
I like
There's
my
no,
chickens.
He's no chicken slouch here. Okay.
And my girls. You can't beat a fresh farm egg. Just can't beat it.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's true. There's something about that. Now we're going to take a little of this cad red light and the cad red together, and we're going to come up here and do this bright red group of feathers.
How do you wrangle a chicken? Very carefully.
And is this dry? Yeah, this is dry a little bit here. We're going to come under here like this and
Starting to get some more color.
get a little more color on our bird, guys. We appreciate you guys hanging out there. We wanted to take a minute and really give a shout out to our auction, but make it fun to, we also want you to have a good time when you're watching anything we do, and make it informative. Things that you might not have known. I've added some yellow to that light orange
Like
color.
we're beginning about the whites and the yellow oxide and the other O.
Yeah, we want you to have that kind of nice
That
experience.
bonus knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. We want that bonus knowledge to be there for you. Okay. And and let's see, we want some darker red. Now you see red needs several coats of paint. Here you go. So this is the next one. I can't stress that enough. You want your reds to
Really pop.
pop. You're going to have to put in a few coats of color here. And this is where an angle brush is kind of nice because you can put that, just don't paint it all solid. You kind of use the brush strokes and they will show. Trust me, these brush strokes that you're doing will show as you do it. It'll make a difference. So there's a little bit of the darker green now. Put a little bit of that down here. A little bit of orange with my blue and my green, and I can get something kind of dark. I want something a little dark down in here. Okay.
There's one fine looking chicken, my lady.
Good. It's sort of a fun thing, I think. It's sort of, to me, I don't know if it's sort of or whatever, but I think it's fun. I hope you guys think it's fun. I think it's fun because I think it's fun.
Again, another profound statement.
I know. I think it's fun because I think it's fun.
So it must be fun.
Just it's got to be fun because I declared it so. Not everybody has that profound ability to declare it so, right? Here's a little bit of burnt sienna. Get that
John,
little
have you and Ginger ever visited Key West? We have chickens running everywhere. Yes, we have, and yes, I enjoyed the chickens.
And when we were in the Caribbean,
They have chickens running
they
around
had
too.
chickens running over. Where we didn't see any was in Cuba. I think they ate them all.
Yeah, no chickens in Cuba.
And
I like seeing the chickens running around. They should have the run of the place.
I'm going to use a little phthalo blue and just water right now. Okay, now you can use glazing medium, but look what happens when I just do this with just water. You see how it
Kind of pushes
just
it back
push
a
that
little bit.
white, but you couldn't get that sort of iridescent. And even if I did a little green with that, just look at that. Put a little of that phthalo green on it too. Look at that beautiful kind of translucent color that you're not going to get any other way. Kind of take the moment to think about, when can I glaze? Is there some place in my painting I could glaze? You could write that down. That's something you might want to write down and think about. Is there some place in my painting where glazing would be
Might
effective?
be beneficial.
Yeah, so here's some of this cad red now. We're going to come up here like this.
Zoe is asking, I apologize for asking a bit, but I have Frederick's panels, which I guess isn't good. But I don't exactly understand why is Masonite panels good or different. Thanks. I don't know what Frederick panels are.
Oh, I do.
Oh, what are they made of?
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't want to be sued for saying something isn't good. Does that make sense? And I don't want to get into that kind of art, thing, right? Um, the thing is that there was an artist on YouTube who I greatly admire, and he paints these tea roses, like real china, like the kind of stuff you'd see on china, like fine bone English china. He paints that kind of artwork. And he'll use a canvas panel like what you're talking about, okay? But what he does first is he coats it. You're talking about the surface, the ease of painting on the surface. That's what you're talking about, right? So, and how archival your painting is on the panel, right? And also what people perceive value of it is, all right? So, anyhow, he would take modeling paste and spread it on the canvas panels, which you certainly wouldn't need to do with the Protones. And he'd do very thin layers, like maybe butter on toast. I'd probably put more butter than he
I was going to say, who's buttering that toast?
Yeah, not me. But anyway, you'd do a couple and smooth them out and let that dry for 24 hours. And then you have this delightful surface to paint on. And our garden steps, which is one of my favorite paintings, I show you how to do that. Yeah.
True.
So.
These are very smooth boards. And I can get them super smooth.
This is just that light orange color. First.
How about 100% cotton panel?
Well, what's it on? Is it on cardboard?
Is it on cardboard?
Is it on cardboard?
Or is it stretch canvas? Is it a masonite?
Yeah.
Is it sheet?
Yeah. See, I'm sorry, but
most of the canvas is 100% cotton, isn't it, that we get?
Yeah, it's 100%. Yeah.
I don't think we put polyester in it. Certainly doesn't act like it.
There were some really nice panels that Jerry sold. The ones I liked the best were linen. They had some linen ones, but they said they had put some sort of weird surface on it, so they didn't recommend it for oil paint.
Oil or
it was
acrylic?
only for oil paint, not for acrylics. See how we're getting the color on that little bird? Just kind of doing the little layers of stuff. So let me just take a second while that dries. And we're almost done with this. I knew this wouldn't take very long, right? And one of the paintings I want to show you that's in our auction. This was originally a Renoir, and his it's oranges and apples, which is very different, and it's on a 10 by 20 canvas. And, no, 6 by 20.
It's going to be 8 by 20, I believe.
Is it? What is it?
Well, it's not going to be.
No, it
10.
can't be 10. So it's got to be 8. You're right. It's probably 8 by 20. I have a ruler somewhere handy. Here, what does it say? Oh, you're right. It's 8 by 20. Okay, so, well, people want to know that stuff, and this was done in the tradition that he did it. So you've got the apples and the oranges and the leaves. I think it's an Academy tutorial, and one you might want to do yourself sometime. You want to try that. I think, who did a great job on this one was Jennifer in Colorado. Did a super job on this, JC. Great job on it. Loved it a lot. So, again, this is one of our paintings that is
up on auction
at our Academy. And, of course, if you remember this one, our Rainbow of Fishes, this is a terrific YouTube video, and yeah, it's really fun. And this is done on, now this is a Frederick's paint board, and these are like wooden boards, and these were wildly expensive. We got them on sale.
Super expensive, like $20.
Really nice Frederick's paint board, and they're lovely, lovely and very nice. Again, same idea, very easy to paint on. So that's one of our auction pieces. Wow.
That's an 8 by 16 for those that are questioning her.
Yeah, 8 by 16. Yeah. So that's sort of, there's so many. And then people have always liked our big blossoms. But one of my favorites is, and for YouTube, one of our favorite YouTube ones we've done is this one. You back out a little bit. This is the very kind of psychedelic hibiscus. Again, another fun YouTube tutorial. If you haven't seen that one, another one, hibiscus. We have probably 8 different hibiscus paintings on YouTube.
Yeah, we do a lot of those
We
guys.
do a lot of hibiscus on YouTube. This was just a fun, different way to do the background. And I think you might like it. And this was another YouTube one we did, again, following one of our old masters. And you'll notice that all the brushstrokes are very small. And look at the beautiful purples and stuff. And this is on a 12 by 12 square. Really, really neat painting. Again, in the auction, never offered that before. Super neat painting. And then one of our favorite, I think one of our Academy favorites as far as our members was that these English cottages painted the Thomas Kincaid style of painting, but showing you how to take a photo and eliminate a bunch of stuff. And that's an Academy tutorial, but it's also, this is the original that goes with that tutorial. And I think you might find it very informative to see all the layers of color and everything, to own this up, and see it up front. Kind of neat. Yeah. So back to the birdie. I know you're all excited to be able to see all those things. And let's just come on back here and let's talk about glazing one more time. I feel like now glazing is a little tricky because it's hard to glaze over something that's darker than itself. But I'm going to just put some of this green over these, just the phthalo green over those particular feathers. And then I'm going to just add a little bit of water, and then I'm going to add a little bit of white here. See how when you add a little water and it kind of does a little watercolory smudgy thing here? Kind of separate those feathers out. So it's sort of a nice effect. Can be very effective.
Gives you added depth.
Yeah, this is, the more it's not a matter of kind of overdoing it, but you want to be able to layer. That's key. So, all right, let's take some yellow here. Add yellow medium in that orange color. And if you have the Salvador has a bright orange like this, I think, in their paints. And let's come up here like this. I want more yellow, I think, first. I want some bright yellow on here like this. Remember, we're artists. We already have a photograph of this, so it doesn't have to be exact, but we want this to indicate that this layer of feathers is going over this other one. And that's kind of nice. I'm going to take a little bit of this light yellow and I want to put it, a little bit of it down here. Kind of balance that out on the bottom, maybe. A little bit of orange in here too. Okay, just something to balance that one out. And let's see, let's take a little magenta on here and darken this one a little bit, maybe a little tiny bit of magenta right there. It's a little darker red. And then I kind of like this. You see in this how this is an interesting bird. He's got this orange around these back feathers. Did you ever have a bird like that, John?
Mine weren't that pretty.
Well, you ate them. Probably didn't want to spend the money on.
Will you get over the eating of them? Jeez, oh Pete.
If it was really pretty, you wouldn't have eaten it either. Wow, just
you're the one that enjoyed the chicken pot pie last night, so knock it off there, lady. Or be just veggie pot pie from now on. That'll teach you. Now, you're not really done down on the feet yet, right?
No.
Okay.
No, we still have a few feet to go. No pun intended.
Oh yeah, it was. I know you.
Do some more bright red, yellow, and orange. Do chickens molt? Do they lose their feathers, or do they? No? Yes?
Hmm.
Or do you have one long enough to find out?
You know, you can start running this show by yourself. Just letting you know that. I know you used to be able to do it, so I know you can do it.
Sorry. I digress. What's really fun, guys, what's really fun is to go to the Houston Livestock and Rodeo in February.
They have
And they've
chicken
got all
roundup.
these 4-H projects, and they've got, if somebody's got a bunny and is the cutest bunny you've ever seen in your entire life, or they've got the most exotically fancy, I guess it's a fancy animal show day, for that. It's so cool. It's really fun. We haven't been able to go. COVID, and we were traveling, and John has not yet got to see it. But then I'm not sure that I want to give him any ideas either. Though we live in a subdivision, so you can't.
I
You
bet I could
can't.
get away with it. I bet I could get 3 chickens in here and nobody would know.
Well, if you got roosters, they would.
Well, yeah, you can't get roosters. There's a rooster, it ends up on dinner. It's that simple.
Okay.
Because they're not going to give you any eggs.
Yeah, is that right?
Well, have you ever seen a rooster lay an egg?
I haven't seen anybody lay an egg. No, you've laid a few tonight.
Are you having a good time over there tonight?
Oh, I wonder if I should put an egg down here.
I don't think you should put an egg down there.
Okay, all right. Fine. Fine, I won't do an egg. No eggs. We're good. I want to just take my...
Chickens molt twice a year to keep them feathers shiny and bright.
See, there are people that had them long enough to know. Could answer our question. Just saying. Good for them. Maybe they looked it up on YouTube. That's just...
They looked it up on YouTube. I usually use Google for my search engine.
Well, that too. Okay. Listen, you're making me laugh so much my mascara's running, man. I bought
I'm
some-
making you laugh. You're the ones carrying on a conversation with yourself over there.
well, I bought this new mascara from
And it's no good?
well, it is till your eyes tear up. Look at that. Then not so much, right? Just,
Now we have a raccoon.
well, to keep those two. You weren't a fan of eating roadkill, right?
No, sorry.
Okay. Wrong state. Just got the Posca pin. I just wanted to get the shape of these guys a little better than they were.
Now, I want you to look at the picture again
Yeah.
and look what else is on the feet. You're
Oh yeah,
missing a
these
very
little spurs.
important
These
part.
little spurs things.
Yeah,
Do just the roosters have spurs, or all of them?
the boys have them.
So then you would know what it was, a boy or girl.
I don't know if
From,
the girls have them or not. My girls didn't have them. Not that big if they did.
huh? So maybe that would be the other way to tell, huh?
I don't know. That has been a long time. How long ago was I had chickens? Jeez, way
don't
too
know.
long.
I have no idea. I give up. How long ago was it that you had chickens?
10,
Mr. Little?
10, 15 years.
That long?
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, so now I can kind of. I think I'm gonna. I want them to show up where I had their gray in the picture, but I think I'm gonna make them maybe brown, and then they'd show up a little better. This little brush is so nice.
Only roosters have the spurs. I thought so.
Well, see,
It's a
that-
guy thing.
that-
Yeah, but when they're little babies, they don't have them yet, so you can't tell what if you got a boy or a girl when they're just chicks.
Okay, but then eventually you figure
You
it
got to
out,
wait
right?
till they get big enough to know what they're going to do. If you got one that's going to be a stewing chicken, or a chicken that's going to have the laying you some eggs.
Okay. Okay, so there's that. Now let's put, you don't want a floating chicken, so you've got to put some something a little dark underneath him. Give him a little shadow here under his legs. So he's sitting on something. Yes and yes. Now he's got it kind of more cemented into the
More
Into-
cemented.
picture.
That's a great little brush.
This is a marvelous brush. I'm telling you what, it's great for detail. I mean, you want to talk
It's
about a
good
good
detail for the heavy body paints.
Yeah, really marvelous for that, I would say. And let's see, I want a little magenta and white. One little pink around this eye. Ooh, that's pretty, isn't it? Just a little more pink around the eye. Just give him a little more character. And then we want a little bit more of the lighter orange on the comb. The top of it anyway. And just now, in order for him to look like he's painted on this wall, you've got to connect. You don't have to draw it all the way through. Just a couple of these.
This is a
these-
Bristol on 00, 00.
These brushes, you can just sort of indicate that he's
not sitting in front of it. He is
that
the
he's
wall.
actually painted on the wall, right? And which
We're
is-
not trying to hide the, Lynn's asking, I can still see the stripe. No, this is a chicken that's been painted on this fence. It's not a chicken, real live chicken.
no, he's painted on the fence. And then to have him show up more, we're gonna come under here like this and
Has some contrast.
add a little contrast
A little
where you
yin
want
and
it to
yang.
just stand up more, and you can, and you need a few little notches on the fence, sort of you need some stuff on the fence so that it looks old. Just a few little
Some weatherings.
some weatherings. Now this is where you could put, if you wanted to, you could write maybe just eggs or something like that, kind of in an arc
Fresh
here.
eggs. Fresh eggs here.
Fresh eggs here, something like
I'd
that.
almost put that in the upper left corner.
Or what, up here?
Yeah,
Fresh eggs right here? Yeah,
Fresh
that
eggs
would
for
be
sale.
cute too, wouldn't it?
yeah,
And it might be nice to do that, right? Like right up here like that.
yeah.
We might do that. I think that's a good idea. And you can darken one side of the cracks like this,
Give it a little
a
depth.
couple of places, and it can get, you give it a little depth, kind of age this wood a little more. Also, this would have been fun if you'd done some crackle medium on it, on the boards first before you put the chicken. That would have been good too.
No, I don't know if I agree with that one. I've never seen wood crackle like. I guess you're gonna go for a peeling paint then.
Yeah, the peeling paint
That's what
look,
you're
right?
doing.
I'm going for the peeling paint look
Yeah,
on that.
Got it,
Which
got
you
it.
could, that would be the main reason why I would do it.
got it.
But see how I'm kind of aging those boards now. So then, what you would want to do for this is you'd want to say, like, for instance, I'm going to do a sign up here. I'm going to just say up here, I want it curved like that, right? Yes? Like this, okay? So you want the eggs to end here. And probably come back this far to fresh. So one of the things you ought to do that you can do is just write out the word. Just,
Especially if you're dyslexic.
well, no, just write out the word because it's important to write out the word so that you know. So you want to say fresh eggs. Now, is that maybe you just want to, you know?
You better put an S on that eggs. Unless you're only going to have one egg. Come fast.
So do we want to just put eggs?
No, they got to be fresh
You know,
eggs.
you want to have fresh
You
eggs?
don't want day-old eggs.
Or it could say eggs 10 cents
Ooh.
instead of fresh eggs.
Also, you can have stale eggs for a dime.
Well, how much did you charge for your eggs?
We couldn't even give them away.
Well, then a dime is a deal. All right, so we could do eggs 10 cents or we could do fresh eggs. So if we're saying fresh eggs, F R E S H. So here's eggs, G. Here's the E. Then
You have a
need
little egg there in the
space.
middle.
Then like a little egg here,
Yeah, like a little egg.
and then a H here. S. The trick with signs is to spell them right and keep all the, no matter how you do the letters, just making them all the same. F R. You got to have the R here. And then the E has to, you can always sneak an E in somewhere. There's certain letters that you have to pretty much have down, but you can always sneak an E in, you know. So, all right, so we're going to do that. We're going to say fresh eggs right there, right?
You can always sneak an egg in.
And there's more. So I'm going to take some tape here. And I'm going to just pull it like that. And I want to see, that was the bottom. This is don't realize this is great stuff here. I'm showing you here.
$5 a dozen for fresh eggs in Connecticut.
What's that?
$5 a dozen for fresh eggs in Connecticut.
Oh. This is curved tape. It's crepe paper tape, so you can pull it and you can make the curve. Let's see how to, yeah, right here like this. Keep pulling it and pushing it down. So here's my curve, right? And
Is this a rooster? Yes, this is a rooster.
it's a rooster because we have the
Spears. The spars.
we have the stuff here. So we want this to be here. I'm pulling it. You see how I'm pulling it and curving it at the same time? And I'll just put another little piece here, like so. So the reason you want to do tape, if you can, is because it will, oh, look at that. How did we do that?
Where did you get the red from?
No idea. Where did we get the red from? Where did the red come from? Kimosabi?
Well, look on the back of your hand. One of your hands must have red on it.
Huh?
Your little finger there?
Some red here? I don't know. It kind of adds to it, though, doesn't it? If we go ahead and paint over it? What do you think? Kinda
No.
No?
I'm sorry. Can you get it
So
off?
fussy. Don't know where it came from. Now I have to put eggs in again.
No, we'll take
And I
that
had
away.
eggs. I had the word all written out and everything.
Well, if you keep your hands clean, can't take you anywhere.
So here's S, G, 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 E, fresh eggs. There's our egg right in the middle, right? All right, so there we go. So everybody's good with that?
We're loving it.
Okay, so
I remember this chicken, this fresh eggs are going to be up on the auction. We have an actual picture of it. Once it's dried enough, I can scan it in.
let's see, I had to put that brush somewhere. Where'd I put that? Where'd I put the fancy brush?
You didn't put it in the water, did you? Not supposed to do
I
that.
don't remember. Yeah, yeah, here it is. Okay, remember, gotta get all the white water off of this. All right, so I think it should be white. Because it's a fresh egg sign. What do you think? What color should we make it?
Let's start with white. Can always glaze over if we don't like it.
All right, so here's our,
Weren't you a sign painter in one of your lives?
I was. They wanted all the words spelled right. They were so particular.
I don't
Being
understand
just
that.
this dyslexic person, I didn't always see that the words weren't spelled right. But I was. Okay, so I want a G. How am I writing the G? Let me see. Okay. I could have done the white Posca pen with this too, by the way. And that might have been a consideration.
Oh, but this looks more hand painted, and that's what they would do. I think you're doing great. Again, we're using the Bristol-On 00. Bristol-On 00 by the Silver Brush Company. And we don't get a dime saying a thing like that.
Yeah, they don't care what we say. You know, I just tell you the brushes that we like.
Yeah. It's a small round, yes. I don't know what other sizes they make.
All right, there's some sad looking little G's. I could have probably, some of you guys, did you know that lettering is a whole art by itself? It's not necessary, you know what I mean? You just, the ability to letter is quite something. All right, so there's eggs. And then we're gonna do, our F is gonna go over here. I don't know why we got into the pink here, but here we go, back to the white. Okay, and then we're going to put the H. Do the first and last letters and the middle letter if you can. I think I'm going to do the R next, because that's a letter that you can always squish the E and the S. E you can make to fit. All right, so there's our fresh eggs. Now, you say put a little egg in the middle here?
Oh, well, you're a little tight. I wouldn't.
I think we won't do it. Yeah, we got a
Nope.
little close.
You made them fatten up later. No, it looks good just like it is. You don't need an egg there to muss it up.
No,
You done
so
good.
let's.
The Rooster's not giving the fresh eggs. He's selling them. He's got all these hens working for him.
He's the entrepreneur.
Yeah. He's the businessman. Come on, people. Think about it. Roosters don't lay eggs. That's just silly.
We know that. We all had that big discussion. Okay, so that got just a little bit of a shadow on those.
I'm liking it.
Are you?
Yep.
All right, so all right, so we've got. I just want to make sure I'm all good here with the top of my G here. All right, you ready?
Oh, look at that, huh?
So I think you could write 10 cents. So what's the sign for a dozen?
I don't believe there's a sign for a dozen.
Is there a sign for a dozen?
Called 12. It's a 1 and a 2. I know it's kind of odd that they would do something like that, but they did.
It's DZ, right?
DZ, DOZ is usually the abbreviation for it. Yeah, just leave fresh eggs.
We're just leaving that alone because obviously we're leaving it alone, you guys. I mean, what can I say? We're just
Now your top green feather there, you're gonna keep it light like that, like it's faded away.
yeah, like it's faded.
Yeah,
And
it's weathered, as it were.
yeah, we want it kind of weathered. And in fact, we could even take some zinc white and just weathered a little bit more. There you go. Just kind of weather a little bit more, and let's put a little bit of white in this chicken too.
How do you get fresh eggs from a rooster? Very carefully.
Wow, just it's a tough audience tonight, John. Just tough audience.
You know, if you buy this, and you're the winner of it in the auction, you can paint out the spurs and it can be a girl chicken.
We can take the spurs off, John.
No, just leave them alone.
Well, but you know what?
I like the guy being the entrepreneur. He's there making a living.
It's good to want things. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Well, paint out the. I'll tell you what. That might be something you want to do, right? And I think this is sort of a. I think we have captured our birdie. What do you think?
I think you've done a marvelous job.
I think we have done a marvelous job. We've got to do a little more thing on his eye. Now he's got attitude. Chicken with attitude, right?
He does.
You gotta have a chicken. You gotta have a chicken with attitude, don't you?
Especially when he's the boss chicken.
A little purple in there. And by golly, we've got a fun chicken. And I feel like we've got a good, kind of an old fence. I feel like we've got that, right?
I think you achieved what you were going for.
You think I did?
I think you did.
I think we've got that little, kind of the little fun little lines in here. All right, we're gonna sign him. Wow, huh? Now, you don't have anything written across the screen, do you?
Not right at the moment.
How fast can you do something?
Depends on what I want to do.
You're gonna ask the question of the day.
Oh, no.
You don't
Let me
have
throw a
that?
link up for right now.
Can't do that?
Let me throw the link up to the auction though first. I can do that
Throw
while
the
you're-
link up to the auction. I'd say throw the link up to the auction.
that I'm doing.
And
Our current auction runs through, I believe it's the 28th, Wednesday. A week from the following Wednesday.
I think this is sort of a fun painting myself. I don't know that I would have thought to do anything like this with the Freshe, but sort of felt a little inspired to do it, and I think it's kind of
I like it.
it's different, isn't it?
I think so.
And you want to make sure you've got everything's light enough next to this. Let's put a little brown in it. Put the orange in it. All right, so that there's sort of done some little tricky things here with making it a little lighter around our bird a couple places.
You can really stand well. Yeah.
Yeah, he sort of stands out now, yes and yes. We've got the old red slash to the name. And you guys,
They've got a chicken on the wall.
we have a chicken on the wall. Just started off this bird will be in our website, Ginger Cook, acrylic painting with gingercook.com, probably tomorrow. Or if you give us a chance to do that. Again, this is called drafting tape. That's what we use, drafting tape for the curves. It's really good for any kind of arches or curves or anything you want. We want a really good line of paint, and you want a sharp curve. And this is artist tape. Those are kind of must-haves. To kind of review that. We use we talked a little bit about the difference between, now this is dry. Do you see the pearl white, how shiny it is?
Yeah. You can really
See?
tell when you flip it up and down. It goes from
So
translucent.
that would have been interesting, and I'll tell you why. That would have been very interesting on, let me just show you a trick, on this bird, because you know how birds have iridescent feathers, right? So if I put a little on my stick here,
My official paint stick.
my official paint stick, and I would just go over the white a little bit with this pearl. When it dries, it will have a bit of an iridescent quality to it. What do you think of that, you guys? Kind of neat, right? And I mean, that's all you have to do. Just, it's gonna, you can see it right here, can't you? You see how
You
kind of
can when you flip
iridescent
it
it
up and
looks?
down, yeah.
It's kind of neat. Now, of course, we'll varnish this, and how much of that will show up after we varnish it, I don't know, but
Oh, I say the same.
it'll probably still be sparkly.
I believe it will.
So I guess the question I want to ask John is,
Oh, wait.
do you put up our auction site? I think I want to put this up and leave it up there. So we appreciate you guys. Do you like these impromptu shows? And what would you like to see in them? And you can answer that in the comments below after the video closes. We would love it if you would do that. And check out we couldn't show you 60 paintings tonight in our auction, but we've got some fabulous pieces.
Now 61.
Now 61. I think that this would be a fun one to do. I keep seeing something else I want to do here too, but I think this would be a fun one to do here, like that. Let's just put a little highlight here. There we go. And yeah, King of the Roost here, right? So the fresh eggs, you guys, and King of the Roost. I don't know which title we should use. You like, what do you want to call it? Fresh eggs?
I'm calling it chicken wall.
Chicken wall. Like the
I
chicken
like chicken
dance?
wall.
Like the chicken dance, yes? I want another comb right here. One right there. So there. Okay. All right. There you go. Hope this was fun. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our auction, gingercookauction.com. We'd love to hear what you think about that too. If you're enjoying the paintings we're doing, and come join us for. Thanks everybody for who did some donations today. Thank you very much. The Scholarship Fund. Thank you guys for watching. See you Monday, 5:30 Central Time, where we'll do something else fantastic.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
I'm a student, I say with glee, of Ginger Cook's Academy. Take your time and do not rush. Use ruby satin, silver brush. Don't use black and mix the green. Learn what blend and grayscale mean. Yes, I hope each day to earn coaching praises as I learn. I'll be an artist, wait and see. Ginger means the world to me.